Hi guys, it's Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today's video is going to be a quick get ready with me. I have some stuff to do, but in regards to my filming update, I feel like short of breath. I do have, my heart rate is 107. I don't know why. But anyway, I do have my makeup collection series coming up. I am not planning to do any more project pans for the end of the year, so I'm kind of finished panning what I wanted to pan. And I had planned on filming towards the end of the year, doing a makeup inventory series before I did my planning to pan for 2026. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update before I jumped into that series, just because a lot's been going on lately. And so I just wanted to give you a heads up. So I'm just gonna get ready. I'm not really gonna talk about what I'm picking up, but you guys will be seeing me like showing it on camera, so you guys can know what I'm using up. So anyway, last week I finally completed my marathon. If you guys know, I was training for 22 weeks. That's how long my training plan was, and it was absolutely draining. But thankfully I already did my marathon in Chicago. A lot of you guys donated to my fundraising. I was running with Immigrant Angels, which is a cancer organization. They already sent me an email that they guarantee my entry for next year, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it again. I haven't forgotten everything I suffered these past few weeks, so we'll see if I'll do it. But you guys donated to my fundraiser, and you guys also, some of you guys purchased some stuff from my Poshmark, and like I said, everything from whatever I made on Poshmark was going straight to the fundraiser. So I'm happy that you guys were able to support me on either way or both ways. I don't know. A lot of the donations were anonymous, but I am glad that I was able to reach my goal. I didn't quite reach it. I did have to pay about $400 to meet my fundraising goal, which is fine. I had to support myself in any way, shape, or form, so that's good. It took me about 45 minutes longer than my goal time. I was really hurting. One of my knees was really bothering me. Chicago's pretty flat, but there were some bridges that we were going up and down on, and going up or down really was hurting my knee, which is weird because I never had any issues with my knee when I was training. I ran here. I ran up to 21 miles on my training blocks, and I never had issues with my knee, so that was kind of weird. But nonetheless, I did it. That was my first marathon, and I'm super proud that I was able to complete that. It's one of those things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to do that. And now it's like I can say that I've done it, So that was really exciting. I didn't really have time to sightsee. The race weekend was really busy, and they really encouraged us to not go sightseeing like the day before the race. That way we could rest our feet, rest our legs, and we would be well rested. And so that's what I did. Like I said, it was my first marathon, and I was trying to get take as much advice as I could from people who had done it before. I definitely have to go back to Chicago because I feel like I didn't explore the city as much as I should have had I been just there for vacation or anything like that. So I came back. I left for Chicago on a Friday. I got there like at 10:30 in the morning, so I had a lot of time on Friday, raced on Sunday, and then I came home on Monday. I went in, I got a massage. Then before I went to bed, Buddy, my husky, started getting sick, which brings me to the second part of my story. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram or any other socials, you guys don't know this, but Buddy passed away. It was really sudden, and he didn't pass away from what I was expecting him to pass away from, which was his old age and dementia. Like I said, sorry, my Franken blush. I was getting ready to go to bed because I was going to go work on Tuesday. And he started like dry heaving. I thought he was going to throw up. Nothing was coming up. He was just like dry heaving, nothing coming up. I had just taken him out and I thought maybe he ate some grass. Maybe he has like some grass blades in the back of his throat that are making him want to gag. And so I kind of didn't pay much attention. Maybe after like 5-10 minutes, he kept doing that and doing that. I decided to take him outside. I said, okay, buddy, let's go outside so you can puke in peace. And he was just kind of going outside, going around the backyard, dry heaving, kind of like hunching back like this. And I wanted to give him privacy, so I was just kind of like letting him do his thing. I was on my phone, not really paying attention until he kind of stopped. He kind of stopped doing that, and he was just sitting down, and because he was old and he had really bad arthritis, he was very skinny. He looked very skinny, but then when I saw him sitting down, he was just like blown up. His belly looked like a round ball. And I was like, that is not normal. That's when I really started getting worried. And I went to touch his belly. It was hard. And I could tell that it bothered him because he like got up and ran away from me. And he's not the type to do that. So that's when I really got concerned. And I was like, I think he has bloat. Bloat is a condition in which the stomach and the intestines kind of twist upon themselves. It happens, from what I've read, in barrel-chested dogs like Great Danes, Boxers, those dogs that have a big rib cage and then a tiny little waist. And he had a lot of hair, so to me he didn't look like a big chest and a skinny waist. He just looked skinny because, again, of his arthritis being really bad. And so right away I decided, it's like he started doing this like around 9. By 9 and around 9:20, 9:25, I was on my way to the emergency vet. And I took him out, and they asked me what's going on. I told them I think he's developing bloat. They told me, can you bring him in or do you need help? And I was like, no, I can bring him in, because he was able to jump in the car like nothing. Well, he couldn't get out of the car anymore. By the time I tried to bring him back into the vet's office, I was able to bring him down, but as soon as he got out of the car, he kind of like collapsed in the parking lot. Mind you, I just came back earlier that day from running the marathon the day before. My legs are sore. I can barely move. If you've ever seen marathon runners, how they kind of like walk like really stiff and kind of sideways because you really can't bend your legs because your quads are like on fire. I don't know how I squatted down to the floor and picked him up. The adrenaline of the fear that was running through me at the time, I don't know, but I was able to do that. I picked him up and I ran with him in my arms. Finally, they saw me running. They opened the doors for me. They got a stretcher. They put him in there and they took him to the back right away. The text asked me again what happened. I told them that I'm okay. The doctor's gonna examine him. He'll talk to you in a bit. Maybe 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, they called me into an exam room, and the vet came in with his little iPad and he showed me the x-rays. And he's like, for sure he has bloat. And then he showed me the x-rays of a normal dog's abdomen and then the x-rays of Buddy's abdomen. And you could definitely see a difference of what it looked like. And he told me this is a medical emergency. He does need surgery. And he explained that the surgery would require an incision in his abdomen about 6 inches. They would have to untwist everything. they would have to staple or suture his stomach to the wall of his rib cage to prevent it from twisting again in the future, because now that it's happened once, it could happen again. They told me that if there was any necrotic tissue, meaning dead tissue in his stomach or in his intestines, they would have to cut it out and then put the pieces back together, essentially. And he might need a drain, possibly. It was going to be a painful and long recovery, but he was going to be sent home with, they showed me 3 different pain medications. And I felt like I just felt like his quality of life was not going to improve, because he already has issues getting around, getting up, and being in pain was going to be very difficult. The dogs do stay alone at home. I had just gotten from being off from work, so I couldn't take off any more time from work. I didn't want to leave him alone, risking his wound opening up or something happening. And I felt like the most humane thing for me to do for him was to put him down. It was hard for me to come down to that decision because the vet said that nothing I did caused it, but when I had taken them out so they could pee and potty for the last time before going to bed, I was playing with Rufus. He has this like squeaky ball. It's not heavy or anything, it's just rubber that squeaks, and I was throwing it, playing catch with him, and on one of those times when I threw it, I hit him on his side. So I feel like I caused it. Like I said, it's a squeaky ball, it's rubber, it's not heavy, it's hollow on the inside, but I still feel like because he's so skinny, I was actually he was on a special diet to make him gain weight because he's so skinny. I feel like maybe that hit from the ball like pushed it over the edge. The vet said that he doesn't think that that's what happened. He said that this happened he says that this happens spontaneously on dogs, that it was nothing that I did, but still like I have that feeling of what if, you know? And then also, you guys know he had been diagnosed with dementia. If you guys would have seen it in my videos, because sometimes I would zoom it in where he's just like staring at the wall or the door, and he's just like stays there and kind of gets lost there. So I felt like the most humane thing for him was to just let him go. So this happened on Monday night going into Tuesday. I had to call into work on Tuesday because I didn't get home from the vet until like after 1 o'clock in the morning. But the good thing is that my bosses are very, like, they understand, like, my dogs are my family, you know, they're my kids. And they were very understanding. They were like, for sure. I had when I initially called them, I told them that I was having an emergency and that he might need emergency surgery. And they were like, okay, hope everything goes well. And then they texted me Tuesday morning. They asked me how he was doing. And then, so that was nice, you know, that they cared enough to call to see how he was doing. They even offered me to take the day off like for Wednesday, but I was like, no, I'll be okay to come back to work on Wednesday. And then I actually got his ashes back. It's still much, but okay. I got his ashes back on Friday, yesterday. And so he's finally home, and now I only have one dog. And I just wanted to tell you guys, because I know some of you guys might have seen it on my personal Instagram. Some of you guys follow me there. And it felt like it was going to be kind of weird for me to come back and and not address it, because I know some of you guys in the comments have been asking like, how is Buddy doing, because you guys know that he is old and sick, and so you guys are not going to be seeing him anymore. So I figured I would let you guys know what the update of what had happened, because like I said, you guys won't be seeing anymore. And then that way, when I do my makeup series, inventory series, there won't be like a weird elephant, I feel like, in the room. I can just move on without having to explain like what happened, or people asking like what happened. I can just kind of like refer them to this video. You know, if people didn't watch this video and have questions, I can just refer them to this video. But yeah, so it's been kind of weird, because like a weird way to process this, because I was on a really high from Monday morning. I was in a really high from completing the marathon, coming home and telling everybody how excited I was. And then Monday night, in the lowest of lows, because I had to put my dog down that I've had for 12 years. He was my first dog that I ever had. I call it my firstborn. We found him on the streets. He wasn't claimed. He was chipped, but the chip wasn't registered. He was already neutered. We think he lived in an apartment because he hated being outside. So I think he was like an inside dog. But when I first got him, he was heartworm positive, so I had to treat him for that. He had knee surgery in 2020. Then he had wrist surgery in 2022. So like, I really love that dog. I would have done anything for him to live longer. But his quality of life, more than anything, was my top priority. So, you know, it is what it is. He has joined the mantle already with his other siblings. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know Toby, my little Yorkie, Brownie, my little poodle, not poodle, my pit bull, and then Lexi, my lab mix. So that's it. I'm sorry to end this video on such a sad note, but this is it. I do have some stuff going on today, and I'm gonna try to start filming the makeup series so we can finish the end of the year. And I'm excited to kind of refamiliarize myself with what I own. I haven't done a makeup inventory in 2 years. The last one I did was in towards the end of 2023. And my collection has changed a lot. I've panned a lot of items. I've sold some stuff recently on Poshmark. I've given some stuff to family. You know, my mom every now and then, do you have any eyeliners that I can borrow, or I can have, or a red lipstick or something, you know? But I've also had stuff gifted to me, either through declutters that have been passed on to me. So I'm excited to see what my collection looks like and what the numbers look like. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little sad update. I hope it wasn't too sad, but I'll see you on the next one.